back. On the property show today, we are looking at Thane district and the micro markets within it to tell you what's going on in this market. There's been a spate of new launches from top developers. It also remains one of the most affordable markets of Mumbai. And will prices remain almost the same now that there's pressure of home loan interest rates rising, or are they likely to rise? What's going on there? Mr. Niranjan Hiranandani and Abhishek Kiran are with us to give us that answer. Mr. Hiranandani, what about pricing now? Let's just conclude with this, because if I'm looking at the fact, prices for in almost all of these micro markets almost flat, Mr. Hiranandani, and suddenly there's a spurt in the first 5 months and probably the last quarter of 2021. Again, I'm coming back to what we started with home loan rates rising. Do you have any pricing power? Or do you think that now, the pressure on commodity prices is likely to ease and you may not need to do it? And you probably have settled in terms of pricing for the rest of the year.
I don't think so. I don't agree with you. With the cost inputs which have gone up, the steel, cement and other prices, unless there's a radical drop in the prices, I think for the new buildings which are taking place and are being sold, there is going to be some escalation. As you can see, the prediction is also 6% is the inflation rate which is going on, and all the cost inputs going into a house has gone up. Logically, I think there will be a price rise to the extent of between 5 to 10% over this year. This is my prediction, not for only the Thane market, but the entire Mumbai region. I think you are going to see a 5 to 10% increase in prices in the next couple of weeks and months. And most of it is related to cost inputs, which have gone up tremendously, including they have withdrawn the stamp duty benefit. They have withdrawn the other concessional rates in which we can pay development charges and all these things. So having these cost inputs coming up, see, earlier what happened is sales took place where prices were constant, because the cost of input was not there. And there was a lot of overhang of finished goods. Now, for example, we hardly have any finished goods which is unsold at all in our projects. Of course, as a complete district, obviously there is some overhang, as it's been correctly pointed out by you. But I think it's more on the fringes of Thane district where the overhang is there, not in the main city of Thane and the periphery like
Panvel. So you're saying 5 to 10%, sir, is expected. Any particular market that stands out for you, Abhishek, amongst all these 5 micro markets, which you think is likely to perform the best in terms of price appreciation and demand?
I would not use the word best. If it is price rises, actually, it affects the home buyers negatively. So I'm not too sure whether I'm going to be very happy about Mr. Hirandani's 5 to 10%. But just to support his point or otherwise, we pulled out the data for the last 4 years, right? And Thane city, and when I say that's where he is predominantly, has gone up about 14 to 15%, right? Now, if I divide that simple mathematics, kindergarten mathematics, you divide 14, 15 by 4 years, you get about 3%, right? KDMC has gone up about 15, 16%. Mira Bhayander shockingly has gone up 25%. Navi Mumbai-Panvel, where again he has a presence, has gone up 18%. So if you broadly, you can see it's between 15 to 20% over the last 4 years. Looks like it's following the inflation trajectory, right? Inflation was also in that 4 or 5% bracket. Now, if inflation goes up to 10, then I'm completely with him, right? That it might just follow inflation again. But if it does not, because if it's only a small blip, thanks to Mr. Putin or whatever it may be, and inflation subsides towards Diwali, then I am not too sure it's going to go up by 10%. I think it will still stay at that 4 or 5%. Because if you see last year, all the 4 engines were working. Stamp duty was down.
So we know the past. We know past. Now let's move ahead. Which is the market you're going to go? Which is the market you're putting your bets on, Abhishek? Let's get there.
If I have to put my money, then if you're looking at 2 bedrooms and above, then it's going to still remain Thane city. That's where people can afford houses. But if you're looking at outside that, then it's going to be Navi Mumbai, absolutely straight on. Right? That's where the economic activity is. That's where the airport is. That's where the seaport is.
All right. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me on this very interesting discussion on Thane market. It's a very large market, but at least we've got the headline points for home buyers to make up their mind on whether they should buy now, looking at the fact that home loan interest rates are going up. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And goodbye to all of you for joining us on this show. We will keep bringing you micro markets, deep dive into them to tell you what the data is saying.